One quarter in, still a draw. Utah State and Wyoming here in Logan. Glad to have you with us. A sunny afternoon in Utah. Mike Cousins, Kirk Morrison.
Yeah.
Utah State's got the ball here. What have both offenses shown you so far?
Well, to start, Utah State, they have not been able to connect on third down. 0 for 3 so far, but Jordan Love, an interception. Ball's been on the ground a little bit there. That stalled their offensive. But when you look at Wyoming so far, for me, they're still running the football. 11 carries for Xavier Valade. But it's been Tyler Vander Waal spreading the football around a little bit, Mike. To me, that's going to be the key. Him spreading the football around and taking some carries away from Valade.
Can they sustain a drive here? In the first quarter, Utah State held the ball for almost 11 of the first 15 minutes. Ball is tipped and intercepted, and the Cowboys are on the board first. Logan Wilson, the senior, with the pick 6 from 8 yards out.
This is just a great play by Wyoming. Just playing the zone. Everyone's in their zone. And Jordan Love is just staring it down. Just a good job. Ball deflected. Logan Wilson, one of the best linebackers in all of the Mountain West. The ball falls right in his hands. Goes in for a touchdown. We just talked about it, Mike. It's been the miscues for Jordan Love in this offense. That's 2 interceptions right there. 1 return for a touchdown.
Jake Dicker, the defensive coordinator for Wyoming, says that the reason Logan Wilson is one of the best players on this team, as he got the 13th pick from Love this year, is because of his humility. He feels like he's always got to prove something every week, and has such a great ability to pursue the ball. It's easy to be overshadowed the last couple of years on this defense, where you had NFL caliber players, especially Andrew Wingard at safety, who's a guy that when you think defense, he's always going to be at the top of the list. Not anymore.
But you should watch number 30 on film. And he's all over the place. Last week he had a sack and an interception. He gets another interception this week. This time returns for a touchdown. And look, this ball is just stared down. Watch Jordan Love the whole time. He's just staring it down. And that's a good job by Malawi, just going to go put a hand in there. And then Logan Wilson standing right there. Ball falls in your lap. When I say good players find the football or the football finds them, that's Logan Wilson 2 weeks in a row with an interception.
So I know I was anathema to being a good player in youth sports. The ball never found me, and I never found the ball. Scarver for a return of 19. This season, for every field goal and extra point made by participating universities, All-State will make a contribution to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you, All-State.
So Utah State offensively, 0 for 3 on third down and 2 interceptions. That's the game right now so far. Start the second quarter. Can Jordan Love kind of kickstart this offense, get it going again, off of a great performance last week at Fresno State?
Had 2 touchdowns last week and was just shy of 400 yards in that walk-off win against the Bulldogs, who had a promising start last night at SDCCU Stadium in America's finest city. But then they gave up 17 unanswered as they lost to San Diego State. A few other Mountain West games today as well. Hawaii's in Las Vegas. They take on UNLV. And then later tonight, Mountain West After Dark on ESPN2. Colorado State Air Force, New Mexico at Boise State. Jordan Nathan with the catch, first down. The umpire has a flag.
It's illegal formation. No one was on the other side of the field. They'll call that every time. See what happens when you go fast. You got to get the communication to the offense.
False start. Number 65 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Just miscues. If I'm Gary Anderson, I'm shaking my head as well. Just the miscues so far offensively for Utah State.
Nothing Gary Anderson can do except express disappointment right now with this offense. Mike Sanford, the offensive coordinator, said they had some come-to-Jesus meetings over the last couple of weeks. He got a couple guys from every position and said, all right, let's be honest with each other. What do we need to do? Nice hands from Siosi Mariner to make that grab and gain back some of the yardage.
Well, that's one of the things they got to do is just do your job, right? Catch the football.
That's been half, if not more than half the battle this year. Although, you go back to that last interception for the pick six, that was on Jordan Love.
Yeah, that's on Jordan Love. But now we get into third down, right? This has not been the friend of Utah State offensively today. If I'm Wyoming, I'm bringing pressure again.
It doesn't get there. The throw over the top, closer to the secondary than it was to Mariner, as Elijah Halliburton, the safety, was drifting over.
That was a terrific play by the defense again. They've, on third down, this third down package for Wyoming so far has given Jordan Love fits. They're taking away his first option, and he's got to go all the way to his third progression. And that time, like you mentioned, Halliburton, number 3, the safety, over the top of that one.
Christopher Bartolek, the former junior college punter, now at the FBS level, first season. Wide receiver Conway. It's through a couple of teammates and out to the 37-yard line where the Aggies will play defense. Monday Night Football goes to Estadio Azteca in Mexico City. The Chiefs and the Chargers separated by 2 games in the AFC West, and Kansas City has had the Chargers' number as of late, winning 8 of 9. Game kicks 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. That they get to play this game in Mexico this year is a story in and of itself.
Well, the bigger story could be with the Raiders win against Cincinnati tomorrow and a Chiefs loss Monday night. Raiders could be in first place in the AFC West. You didn't know that one, I bet.
And the odds are in the Raiders' favor, given the way the season has gone for Cincinnati this year.
They have not been one of the better teams in the state of Ohio this year.
Well, you're not exactly setting the bar very high at the professional level there, are you?
Well, I'm saying, when you look at what Ohio State's doing.
At the professional level, I said.
I said just football in general in the state of Ohio. Okay. What about the Miami, Ohio Redhawks in first place?
Clinched themselves a spot in the MAC championship game in Detroit already.
That's why I kept it general, football in the state of Ohio.
Nice season for Chuck Martin and company. Vanderwall's got all sorts of time and a very big arm. And he hops that down the field, incomplete.
But that's not his game right now, Mike. That's not his game. Okay, I've talked about it before with Tyler Vanderwall. His game to me right now was kind of in a 0 to 15 range. That's where I think that his passing to me can be at its best. Once he starts to get that ball 15, 20 yards down the field, his accuracy has not been there yet.
5 of 10 today. Last week, in his first start of the season, hit 65%, which was the best for a Wyoming quarterback in 2 years. His check down is even high off the hands of Valladay. That was a fastball when an ethos would have sufficed.
No, that's just concentration. That's just focus. He's got to be better. And Tyler Vanderwall can tell you that I've got to be better. This is almost inexcusable, right? There's nobody around. You got to, this is pat and go. This is how you start practice. This is how you warm up for the game. Just throw that football. It's an easy throw. Vanderwall, like I said, his confidence right now has to be much better than what I've seen so far.
Galovich sends a wobbler tumbling out of bounds at the 16-yard line.
ESPN College Football, brought to you by Allstate, reminding you that football season is mayhem.
Wyoming's high-altitude performance center cost $44 million, but it's huge. 118,000 square feet for more than 400 athletes there. Don't you wish you had something like that back in the day at San Diego State?
Just the college football where it's at now, Mike. Wish my locker room looked like that when I was playing. But you always got to remember, too, man, these college athletes, they spend a ton of time at those types of facilities. And right now, I think Wyoming trying to show people in the Mountain Division or even on the West Coast that they can rival anybody.
And ESPN will be there next Friday night. It'll be the Cowboys hosting the Rams of Colorado State on Friday night for a great show at high elevation. Caleb Rep with the first down catch, gains 4, and they are right back to it with an empty backfield. The shoulder shimmy, long ball down the sideline, is caught. There goes COC Mariner, cutting it back back inside the 10. Touchdown, Utah State. 80 yards for number 80.
Mike, this is all Jordan Love. This is all Jordan Love, just showing you that regardless of the shaky start to start this game, all it takes is one play. And it takes one throw, honestly. And that one throw, Jordan Love finding the hole in the defense and making the play.
The early drives may have been short. All they needed was one to be explosive. Jordan Love had one of his passes taken away and returned for a touchdown. This one, right guy, right place, right time. 7-7. ESPN College Football is presented by Sling TV. Wyoming, Utah State even after an 80-yard touchdown pass. Jordan Love, COC Mariner. He's been on a tear. He had a career-high 11 catches for 103 yards, and both touchdown passes from Love went to him last week in Fresno.
Well, a lot of time when you see the big play, how does the big play happen? First, it's the quarterback understanding the weakness in the defense. But even if there's a weakness in the defense, you got to be able to make the play to not allow the touchdown. This time, Braden Smith, the safety, he just takes a poor angle. He's got to make that tackle. It's one thing for the play to happen, a catch. But Braden Smith, that's what you play safety for. You get deep. You got to be deeper than the defense. He makes that tackle. Okay, it's just a big game. You miss that tackle, and then the fight song is singing for Utah State.
Valladay, a first down run out across the 40. Have you seen, after that 16-yard run, as much of a commitment to the run as you might have expected from Wyoming here early on?
They're not going to change. It's their identity. It's who they are. All right, and just that first down run just shows you that, hey, you scored, but that's fine. We're just going to stay with what we do. This is who we are. And they're going to continue to keep possessing the football. That's what their game is. They're not flustered by what happened defensively.
Vanderwall spins out of the pocket. There's a holding flag coming against Wyoming because Justice Tae had his jersey grabbed on the retreat by Vanderwall by Rudy Stouffer, the left tackle.
Holding, number 62 of the offense. 10-yard penalty, replay for down.
It's a good thing the jersey's made out of flexible material. It might have ripped it.
Yeah, but you also got to remember, too, Xavier Valladay goes out of the game. First thing you think of, it's going to be a pass play. But when you got a quarterback that spins into the rush, they're going to call that every single time. You got hands on the outside, and you see that jersey tug just a little bit. I always said you can't commit the foul with the official standing right there. They're going to throw that every single time.
Backed up 1st and 20 with Valladay on the field. Everybody knows what's coming. He's out to the 35-yard line. They don't have a lot behind him running back wise. You asked Craig Bohl this week, asked Brent Vigen, the offensive coordinator, and the first answer is, let me think about that, who the options are.
Well, they're youthful in the back end, right? They're youthful at the running back position.
That's euphemistic.
Yeah,
yes.
but with Xavier Valladay, he's still only a sophomore. To say that they're young behind him, a young freshman, redshirt freshman, still waiting for their big carries.
The check down throw goes a lot better this time for Vanderwall. However, the ensuing action doesn't really get them much. 8 defenders collaborate to end the play as a flag sits at the 35-yard line.
You see the conscious effort to make the right throw that time.
He short-armed it.
Yeah, he took a little heat off of that one. Went with the changeup instead of the fastball on the check down.
Early celebratory signals from Utah State seem to indicate a penalty against Wyoming.
block in the back, number 62 of the offense, that penalty would be declined. Third down.
Last two penalties against Stowe for the left tackle as Vanderwall got hit on the play.
Yeah, got hit low at the end of that play. That was a low hit. I think the officials missed that one. That should have been, I think, a penalty on Utah State. Protecting quarterbacks, we know in college football, you go down that low, officials got to make that call.
They had the choice, 2nd and 25 or 3rd and 15. And with the way this offense has worked, they rolled the dice on their defense to get one stop. They did, and Utah State will get the ball back. Inside 10 minutes here before halftime.
Another good answer by Utah State defensively. They had the 4th down stop earlier. Now you get this offense off the field of Wyoming. To me, so far, Utah State's defense been doing a great job so far. The offense got the score on the last play. Now getting the ball back. 2 returners, though.
They did it on the last punt as well. Maximize their options. Devin Tompkins takes the fair catch. Right at the 20. So Jordan Love, ranked by many as a potential first-round quarterback. Go back over the last 3 years. Trubisky, Mahomes, Watson. Exorbitant numbers in terms of passing and great touchdown to interception ratios. A couple years ago, Wyoming saw one of their own go in the first round. Josh Allen, not huge numbers, but still the talent there. And then last year as well. This 2 years ago was a 5-quarterback class and a smaller class. Murray, Jones with the Giants, Dwayne Haskins as well. And Jordan Love, last year his numbers were off the charts good. He hands it off here for a big burst. Jalen Warren out across the 40-yard line, gains 16. Love last year, though, 3,500 yards, 32 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. This year, he graduated a lot of the talent around him. He's thrown now 12 touchdowns and 14 interceptions and just about 2,500 yards for the year.
Yeah, he's still a big-time prospect. It's because of throws like that one. It's the throws to the outside that he's gotten better at. Earlier in the season, that was a tough throw for him. But now putting the ball where it needs to be to the outside where only his player can go out and make the grab.
They sneak it and get the first down as they advance into Wyoming territory, trying to break a 7-7 tie. For the 3rd time today, there's an injured Cowboy down after the play. Mario Mora, the defensive tackle, is the injured player. We've already seen 1 injury at linebacker, 1 at tight end for Wyoming as well.
You know, kind of going back to your Jordan Love point, Mike, you know, if when he does get drafted, because I think he will be drafted, will it be in the 1st round? I honestly believe that a team's going to have to really fall in love and really invest in Jordan Love.
Make sure to watch Sunday NFL Countdown next week. This is a huge week in the NFL. You've got a matchup of MVP candidates going on. Texans and Ravens, a rebound opportunity for the 49ers. We have an intra-squad matchup that we are having our eyes on. The Rams and the Bears. You will be with the Rams. Our producer, Paul Irvin, the largest Bears fan I know. Nice play design here on 1st down as they get it to the sidelines with Devin Tompkins, a pickup of 12.
Little razzle-dazzle there by Utah State. They fake the read and they come underneath to Tompkins. That is actually a pass play, not a run.
This time a run for Gerald Bright. The defense has been there to resist the run every time. They did great against Boise State last week. Held them to their lowest total of the year, about 200 yards under their season average. And 14th in the country overall in terms of points allowed. Wide open break down the sideline. A blown coverage leads to 6 for Utah State. 35 yards, another big play. The Aggies have the lead.
first of all, just great route, but understand this. Logan Wilson's got Gerald Bright in coverage. And the route from the outside picked just a little bit for Logan Wilson. Couldn't get over the top, and that's an easy throw for Jordan Love to Bright for the touchdown. That's all play design there, Mike. That's Mike Sanford just seeing what the defense is kind of giving you. But just take a look at the receiver to the bottom, right? There's a linebacker. He's got coverage on Gerald Bright. The receiver runs just enough, right? Didn't even have to touch him, but it's just a little bit. It's not necessarily a pick route, but just gets in the area. And all you need is just a little bit to make the linebacker have to go over the top. One of the plays I used to hate as a player. It's unfortunate that it has to be on one of the linebackers. Touchdown, Utah State, though. Great play design.
How about where the linebacker lines up, too? I want to ask you about that after the kick as well.
Well, you got to remember, too, a lot of times is this, Mike, is that he's got him in coverage. And remember, the running back is on the opposite side, so you never think that he's going to go out. You got to clear the run first. But then you feel like you've got time to get all the way to the outside. But I always learn this. Know your ability and the guy across from you's ability.
And Bright is one of the best players for Utah State. Big return gets him out almost to the 40-yard line. So this will emphasize what you just said. You have linebacker on one side, running back on the other. That makes a difficult play even more hard.
Well, you got to get closer to your coverage. If you know you've got him in man-to-man coverage, why not switch? If you're going to have a blitz called, look, just give it up, just show it. Because your priority is your coverage. Coverage always takes priority in your alignment. That time, Logan Wilson did not take the priority of his coverage, and he got picked. So tomorrow, his linebacker coach is going to say, get in better alignment so that does not happen. But it's to the advantage of Utah State, who saw it, and Jordan Love just put the ball out there for Bright.
Utah State anticipating the run, shows a one safety look. Vanderwall, he gets out, checks down, and gets a nice chunk of yardage on first down to the tight end, Josh Harshman, who, remember, from their two deep is the only one left right now after Jackson Marcotte, who had 2 early first down catches, got carted off the field in the first quarter.
Well, it's still running the offense. It's the short game. And I like the short game. It's all right. Just remember, we got to gain confidence again for Tyler Vanderwall. Played, I thought, great last week at Boise State, but today having some struggles getting the ball deep down the field.
Valladay lowers the shoulders, a first down run. Wyoming 3-2 in Mountain West play, 6-3 overall. Not in contention for the division championship, certainly not as much as Utah State is. 4-1 in Mountain West play as they all chase Boise, perfect in the league atop the division. But Wyoming trying to improve their position for bowl selections at least. After last year, they went 6-6, but didn't get picked for a bowl game. Rocket Ismail Jr. to the 43-yard line.
It's a nice alternative to the run game there, right? Just a nice little play in which you get the wide receivers involved. We saw Austin Conway get one of those end arounds. That time, like you mentioned, Rocket Ismail again. But it just sets up just a better situation for them on second down without having to hand it to Xavier Valladay,
who had 37 carries last week, tying a school record, which hadn't happened in 25 years. A bounce to the outside, the stiff arm, but a great tackle by Metzenheimer. Although at the end, he does draw the flag. Started good and ended poorly.
And this is one of the reasons why they've outlawed this tackle in college football. It was a horse collar tackle, and it's because of when you pull a guy from the back just like that around that nameplate, bad things happen. And I think that's a bad injury for Xavier Valladay, who's still on the ground. See, right up there along the nameplate.
And what Metzenheimer...
foul, horse collar tackle, number 33 of the defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
What Metzenheimer was trying to argue was that he grabbed jersey, but like you said, the nameplate counts for a horse collar tackle penalty.
Yeah, and just watching that right ankle, Look like Metzenheimer falls on that right ankle. And that's unfortunate. I mean, that's the reason why, Mike, that play, you know, just the horse collar tackle is outlawed not only in college football, the NFL. It's because it can definitely hurt some players.
And they'll hope to be able to get him back into the game sooner rather than later,
right,
because they are thin scholarship-wise at running back. We saw one handoff earlier to a back not named Valladay, and other than that, it's guys who have not played a ton this year or are freshmen without significant experience. And with how much they run the ball, top 20 in handoffs in the country, that's a huge part of the way they win.
Well, look, it's going to fall on the quarterback now, Tyler Vanderwall. And I think, to me, the extension of the run game is going to have to be the screens, the slants. It's the 5-yard outs, maybe even the 15-yard outs. But it's those types of plays, to me, Mike, that can help out a young running back group that looks like they may be without Xavier Valladay the rest of the game.
Vanderwall nearly intercepted. There is a flag thrown coming down the sideline, and early indications are it'd be against Utah State.
I want to take a look at this one because I didn't see a pass interference on Utah State. I thought that was great defense. I believe it was Haney, the corner, on that side. Or maybe it might have been DJ Williams, but I didn't see a pass interference defensively. So interesting to see what this call is from the officials.
Pass interference. Number 7 on the defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
That's a lot of free yardage on back-to-back plays.
Yeah, I did not see a penalty, and I think DJ Williams, the senior, he's got a right to argue with the officials on that one. I did not see pass interference. I just saw a guy who's using he's using the sideline as a defender. He's boxing him out. He's got every right to be there. That's just a great job by the defensive back. That should not have been pass interference.
Vanderwall takes off, room to go. He's upended near the goal line, and it's a touchdown for the Cowboys from 11 yards out. After 33 yards on penalties, he provides the last 11. They're a point away from tying it up.
I just said it, Mike. It's going to fall on Tyler Vanderwall's shoulders. He gets up in the air, and I think this is a touchdown, Mike. You're talking about taking off. Pulling off his best Superman impersonation, extending the football. That's an outstanding play, Mike. I just said it before. Xavier Valladay's out of this game. Tyler Vanderwall, guess what? This is your game now to win. Got to put the offense on his shoulders, and that time he found a nice little seam, cut through the defense, and made an outstanding play for a touchdown.
Cooper Roth with the extra point for the Cowboys. And it's good. 14 all. 5:34 left before the half, and a chorus of boos. Pass interference penalty. Standard is an obvious intent to impede. Did you see that from the defense?
No, I did not. And the one thing about it, too, watch the head. He's actually looking for the football. So, to me, he's got every right to be in that position. He used the defender, which to me was the 12th man, which is the out-of-bounds line. That was not a penalty, but
that was a touchdown.
That was a touchdown, right? Now, it results in a touchdown for Tyler Vanderwall, but definitely unfortunate circumstances for Utah State defensively. That was just a great play by DJ Williams. Sometimes the calls go for you or they go against you. And Wyoming offensively converts for the touchdown.
And to put a bow on the pass interference penalty as well, you don't even have to turn around. There's no face guarding penalty in college football. You can just face the offensive player the entire time. I'm with you. I didn't see an obvious intent to impede. I saw a guy turning around to say, hey, where's the ball? And there was a lot of discussion before that penalty, too, indicating some hesitancy on the part of the officials.
That's what they should have picked up, Mike.
Well, let's take a look and see who's slinging it today, and it's brought to you by Sling TV in this 14-all game.
Yeah, I think the guy who's been slinging it so far has been Jordan Love, just finding the honey hole, we call, in between the safety and the cornerback. That's a difficult throw to make, but Jordan Love is one of those quarterbacks in FBS who can make that throw, and it's Mariner for the touchdown. Jordan Love slinging it today.
COC Mariner with that touchdown grab. And it's Caleb Rupp, the tight end, who finds himself open up the sideline. Mariner with that 80-yard grab. You had Gerald Bright breaking away from the defense last possession. This time it's Rupp for 28 yards. All of a sudden across midfield. Love gets flushed. He sidearms it. Another great throw. And his receivers are helping him out today in ways they have often not this year. It's Jordan Nathan for 11 yards.
I always marvel at those types of throws from the quarterback. Right, remind me of a shortstop. Makes you turning that throw from second to first. Nice throw from Jordan Love.
Quick to the line, quick outlet. Nathan again. Brought down shy of the 30-yard line by Logan Wilson, the senior linebacker. No time for substitutions here defensively. A second down punishing run from Jalen Warren. They haven't called his number often, but he moves the chains.
With each successful play, you get right back on the ball. This time the hockey line change for Wyoming. The officials holding up just a little bit, allowing Wyoming to substitute. And I think that's what the fans are booing here about, because Utah State did not substitute.
Well, along with the game program, we may need to distribute copies of the rule book, too, to tell them that it's perfectly legal. There's a flag on the handoff.
Holding, number 65 of the offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
Second penalty on Carter Shaw, the right guard.
This right guard, Carter Shaw, he just gets beats off the ball. When you get beat off the ball, a lot of times guys just say, you know what, I'd rather just take you down instead of you wrecking the play. But that's what's hurt Utah State today. It's been the interceptions by Jordan Love, and then it's the penalties that have really stopped some drives as well.
Perfect on his last 7 throws. Handed off there.
He's like a streaky shooter though, right, Mike? You know, in basketball, you see a guy kind of off in the beginning, and all of a sudden you make one good throw and you just catch fire. That's where Jordan Love is right now, catching fire.
NBA Jam, he's in a great spot. Rupp goes up to get it. The catch at the 25-yard line, hit by Elijah Halliburton. There's a flag back at the 40 from where Love made the throw, and the offensive line, the offenders again.
Holding, number 72 of the offense. 10-yard penalty. Replay second down.
Alfred Edwards, the left tackle, the guilty party this time.
Well, when you have that much time to throw, a lot of times it's the offensive line trying to hold on to their block as long as they can. You can't hold on for that long. And this offensive line it's hurt these types of drives, right? You have the successful drive, the ball is moving. Back-to-back penalties now put you behind the chains.
The Aggies in the first half have been penalized 7 times for 65 yards. They started out 1st and 10 at the 23, and they're now backed up at the 41-yard line. Love on the move again. You know, Kirk, you live in LA. LA traffic is bad, but at least you're going nowhere. On this drive, they're going backwards.
Well, it's a good job by Wyoming's defense, right? Now I think they're going to go back to the zone. They pressured a little bit earlier, and what did the pressure do? They had a linebacker on the running back. I think they're going away from the pressure and playing more zone with the safeties over the top.
The safeties are deep. About 17 yards off the line of scrimmage at the 40.
That's what's hurt them today, is what the big play down the field.
Right.
You want to make Utah State do what? Drive it all the way down. I think they may take a timeout here.
Play clock is at 3 and no indication of a snap coming. They've got 3rd down and 27. Already a very newsworthy slate of games to start the day. Our halftime report with Kevin Connors, Jim Mora, and Emmanuel Acho. You'll get the latest on the injury for Alabama quarterback Tua Tagovailoa. Updates on Ohio State, Clemson, and Georgia. And can PJ Fleck and Minnesota keep that great season perfect? And that is a massive story from that noon game. It was a win for Alabama on the scoreboard, but right now not looking great, as Tagovailoa is back in Alabama for tests on that hip injury. As Molly McGrath reported during that game that he came off the field screaming in pain and had to be carried off the cart once he got up the tunnel.
Yeah, watching that game before we came over to the stadium today, Mike, and you know, a lot of question marks where Alabama's up 35-7. Should Tua still have been in that football game for Alabama?
Along with Kirk Morrison, Mike Cousins, we're glad you're here with us today on a beautiful afternoon in Logan, Utah. 14 all, Wyoming and Utah State, and 2:36 before the half. Potential first-round pick, Jordan Love. Two defenders, he makes them collide. And he finds his way to the 30-yard line.
Yeah, not sure what you're going to get out of that. 3rd and 27. There's just not a lot of plays in the playbook for 3rd and 27 unless you want to take a shot at the end zone and maybe go for that, because you're not really in field goal range. So to me, you just get enough, and that's what I think Utah State did there. Just got enough. Jordan Love realizing that gets enough yardage to at least have a field goal attempt.
And they've got a great kicker with Dominic Eberle, who's tied the Mountain West record for made field goals, 57 in his career. And Kirk, we had Mountain West action last night as well. San Diego State got off to a little bit of a slow start against Fresno State. Jorge Reyna and the Bulldogs.
Well, 4 interceptions last night for Fresno State.
He's throwing it all over, and not always to his own teammates. But how about Ryan Agnew? A huge game, that 17-7 victory. Next up for the Aztecs at Hawaii. That'll be a big matchup.
Yeah, San Diego State won the old oil can in the matchup between Fresno. I never won the oil can, by the way, Mike. Never did.
Hawaii and UNLV tied at 7. Typical Cole McDonald kind of day. And ESPN2 with more Mountain West action later tonight. From 47 yards, Eberle with a sidewinder that is good. And the Aggies leap in front by 3. He had a game winner for them last week, their first in 21 years, and continues to be solid.
Well, first of all, this field goal, you got to really thank Jordan Love for this one, right? They were out of field goal range, just 3rd and 27. Jordan Love flushed out of the pocket, just gets enough yardage for where that field goal is possible, and Eberle kicks it through. That's a good job by Jordan Love, realizing the situation. I'm not going to get all 27 yards on 3rd down. I'm going to get enough to allow us to get a field goal attempt, and they're hoping to keep this lead going into halftime.
58th made field goal of his career. That's a new Mountain West record, and he already holds the conference records for points scored by a kicker in a game and in a season. So add another one to the ledger for Dominic Eberle. On the other side today, too, with Cooper Roth. He's got the chance to become Wyoming's all-time leading scorer, their place kicker.
Yeah, last year's Luke Groza finalist. So you've got some outstanding kickers going along here between Utah State and Wyoming today.
It's a fun look at the way the Mountain West has changed over the last decade as well, with Utah and TCU now in the Pac-12 and Big 12 respectively. So Valladay back on the field here for Wyoming, which is great news for them after he came off on a horse collar tackle on their last drive. Their leading running back, who they handed it off to 37 times last week in their overtime loss against Boise State.
Yeah, it was a scary play for Valladay, but seeing him back on the field gives up definitely Wyoming's offense a shoot of confidence, having their big star back.
Vanderwall against a three-man rush. Hits Valladay, who's hit even harder by Troy Leffridge. He's been all over the place in the first half. Look out for Leffridge. Flag is down along the near sideline at 37.
Illegal formation on the offense. More than 4 in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. Replay first down.
That's always the worst, right? If you're the offense and you have a play with a penalty, so that means the play that really didn't count. So basically, Xavier Valladay gets belted by Leffridge, and it really doesn't even count as the play had a penalty.
Long toss over the middle, and it's intercepted. Shaq Bond comes up with a takeaway for Utah State. Former junior college baseball center fielder playing exactly that position for the Aggies.
You know, Mike, I don't get a vote in the Mountain West Conference all-conference team, but Shaq Bond better be on it. One of the better safeties, I think, in the Mountain West Conference, just playing, like you mentioned, his center field position. Tips and overthrows, Bond right where he needs to be. Ball falls right into his arms again. We've seen a couple of tips today that results in interceptions. And Shaq Bond right where he needs to be, a big play for Utah State.
This now could get really dangerous. You give a minute 15 to Jordan Love and Utah State.
Well, that's plenty of time.
More than enough than they need to execute a scoring drive. Bright, the running back, is taken down at the 44. The question, going back to that Wyoming possession, why not just run the ball, take it into the half as a 3-point game? You get the ball to start the second half. Instead, they could be down by more than 3. Love has to scramble, room to run, and he's just short as he slides of the stick, so the clock keeps going, and they call a timeout. They're second.
You get the interception there by Wyoming, Mike, but it's, you know, honestly a situation where I keep talking about the plays in which Wyoming can run with Tyler Vanderwall. That's just not his strength. So when you throw in the middle of a defense, bad things happen. And you get the ball back to Jordan Love in this offense for Utah State, and they're not in 2-minute mode. This is just their regular offense.
Every drive is 2-minute mode.
This is for them. This is regular offense for them, but a critical third down here, right? Because you want to keep the chains moving. You want to get into field goal range. And so now we start to look at where does this football need to be for Dominic Eberle, right? He's already connected 1 from 47. So are we saying right around the 35-yard line-ish to give him an opportunity for another field goal attempt? But converting here on third down is of the utmost.
They're just 1 for 6 on third down.
We've seen Jordan Love take off a couple times so far. Watch Jordan Love.
He's got it, rolls out, throws on the move, and connects! Touchdown, Utah State! Ball popped loose at the end of that play. The initial signal was touchdown. The officials converse, but nothing to overturn that initial call.
I had to walk away for a second because you just watched Jordan Love. We talk about the flick of the wrist. I mean, he lobs that one up there. And it looks like that play's coming all the way back. Just watching that throw from Jordan Love, and it's the end here. Was there possession gained by Tompkins? I'm not sure he ever really had possession. That's an outstanding throw that should have been caught. And I think the officials conferred and said that that was a flag on the play. Bit confused here, right? So we had,
well, there must have been verbal communication on the field to signify the incomplete pass, because the official at the goal line said touchdown. Nobody signaled incomplete. This time, Mariner, who's already caught a long ball for a touchdown, 80 yards, gets them right on the cusp of field goal range for Eberle with a gain of 23.
Yeah, they're already in the field goal range, Mike. It's another throw from Jordan Love in an area that he's went after all game.
A floater goes too tall, incomplete. Clock stops 23 seconds, and they still have one timeout to work with, so they can take some shots. Love has the tight end rep lined up wide to the bottom of the screen, and 3 out to his left. He looks for rep, and it's incomplete. Pressure came very quickly. Elijah Halliburton, the safety, helping him up, also knocked him down.
Yeah, this is all on the quarterback. He knows that the pressure's coming. You know that Jalen Warren, the safety, the running back, he gets the most dangerous, which is the guy inside. The guy on the outside, that's on the quarterback. That's why he threw it fast, so you know he's going to take a hit.
Another opportunity to go long, 3rd and 10. They'll be comfortable kicking a field goal from here as well to try and stretch this advantage to at least 6 before the half.
But you remember, they still have a timeout left, and they can throw anywhere on the field. There's nowhere that they can't throw.
He zips it out. Jordan Nathan makes the catch and is quickly cut down. Short of a first down. Final timeout for Utah State.
Second timeout.
So now going into that huddle right now, Mike Sanford, offensive coordinator, Gary Anderson, they're talking right now. Look, 15 seconds left. We've pretty much know we've got a field goal attempt, right, at best. So how do we carefully take a shot at the end zone? Because obviously, you call a timeout there, you're saying that we want to take a couple shots at the end zone, because any play inbounds and down, I don't know if you have enough time to run the field goal team out and kick the field goal. So this has to be a throw either to the sideline or to the end zone. But we know you cannot get tackled in bounds. There's no timeouts left. So that's the situation that you got to tell your players. And I'm on the defensive side for Wyoming, I'm saying the same thing. If a guy is in bounds, we tackle him down to the ground, we go in at halftime. So both sides have to realize where you're at on the field at all times. Don't get beat deep. Keep everything in front of you if you're Wyoming.
This drive somewhat encapsulates the promise and the frustration of Utah State all in one. They bring the field goal team out here to try and make it a 6-point game before the half for Eberle, who hit from 47 on his first try.
So my only thing is, why'd you call a timeout with 15 seconds left? I would have let the clock wind down a little bit for Gary Anderson. I think he realized that we don't have a play. Let's just go for the field goal now.
Try from 44 for Eberle, who's made more field goals in Mountain West Conference history than anybody else. And give him one more. 59th of his career, but it's marred by a flag.
Situation here, looking at if it's on Wyoming, do you take points off the board and try a shot at the end zone, or you just say, you know what, we'll take it, decline it, and hopefully hold on the kickoff and take it into halftime?
So 5 striped men converge. So we await one verdict after the made field goal from 44 yards.
Oh, they're bringing in reinforcements. Well, we've got 7 officials in stripes conferring. I'm probably just as confused as Craig Bowl is there on the sideline trying to figure out what's going on.
We'd all love to know. It's one of the sports where, fortunately, the officials do wear microphones.
Yeah.
You'd love to see it in every sport, especially to go back to that touchdown play before where the signal was touchdown.
Signal was touchdown.
The official has a microphone to tell everyone assembled
if there was
what
an
happened.
Illegal man downfield.
And it doesn't get used.
Now we get a call here.
Personal foul, leveraging on the defense. That penalty would be declined. The result of the play is a good field goal.
So when I hear leveraging, that's just, you can't use your own player to give you leverage to jump up. So you can't jump up, first of all, and land on someone, let alone your own guy.
You can't use your teammate, even if his name is James and you're really close with him. You can't make him into a jungle gym.
Right.
Right?
I see what you did there.
And it's a player safety rule more than anything else.
Yes, correct. And we've seen that it's just taken out of football on all levels. But another field goal for Everly. And now you just hope that he kicks this out of the end zone. And if you're Wyoming, you take a knee and go in at halftime down 6.
This all goes back to the Vanderwall interception from Shaq Bond. It's about 1:15 on the clock for Utah State, and they were able to turn it into points. Just 71 yards of offense in the second quarter for Wyoming, which will get the ball to start the third quarter down by 6. Short kick, and it'll come out to the 25-yard line. 9 seconds. You'd expect one play and then off to the locker rooms.
And if you're Wyoming, you're looking at the score, 20-14. Not a bad first half, right? You're on the road, down 6. A couple of miscues, like you mentioned, the Tyler Vanderwall interception. But outside of that, I take 20-14.
You're close, but you've already exceeded the average of what you give up for the year, which is only 18 points. Best in that category, Ohio State at about 9 a game. And then you've got in group of 5, San Diego State, Louisiana Lafayette, and Wyoming. Lots of news to catch up on after the break with our halftime report. It'll be Kevin Connors, Jim Mora, and Emmanuel Acho to give you all you need to know.